Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning person, you're a real one because I haven't posted in 5 or 6 years. I'm assuming most of you guys are new, so hello, my name is Lily and welcome to my channel. Quick side note before we jump into this video, my hair looks crazy throughout this video. I know, probably should have brushed it, probably should have done a little nice thing to it, but it's too late and I'm too lazy to refilm, so enjoy. Like I said, I used to post a lot when I was younger, maybe 13, in my early preteens, and then I tried again in high school, and then I stopped because it was kind of cringy in high school. But now I'm going to try a different type of content. It's going to be more fiber art related, and when I say fiber arts, honestly, that was like the only username I could grab. It's just knitting essentially. I also crochet, but right now I'm in my knitting girl era. I love like how the stockinette stitch looks and how just like professional and store-bought these clothes can look. My goal with this podcast is to make it more of a beginner-friendly knitting podcast. I, as a beginner knitter, I've only been knitting or taken back up knitting for 4 months now-ish. As somebody who's a beginner knitter, I've been watching so much knitting podcasts, knitting content on YouTube, and it's honestly making me feel super overwhelmed. It's making me compare myself to everybody who's been knitting for like years on years. So I kind of just wanted to show what I made within these first 4 months of picking back up knitting. Comparison is not good, so try not to compare yourself. I have been really pushing myself and challenging myself to make some pretty difficult projects as I jump back into knitting, but I've been having a great time, and yeah, so I hope you enjoy this content. A little backstory on me. I started knitting back in like 3rd grade. I learned in aftercare. I really just learned the simple knit, purl things. In 7th-ish grade, I then took up crocheting, and I taught myself all via YouTube. And then in high school, I kind of picked it back up here and there. In college, I took crochet back up, and I really made these beautiful blankets, beautiful Afghans. And then I went to a knitting group, or a crochet knitting group, where I saw somebody just making these most beautiful socks ever. And I was like, dang, I need to learn how to do that. And then I was busy with school, college. And flash forward to after I graduated. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. But flash forward to after when I graduated, I picked up knitting. Yeah, in about like maybe October. And now it is February. I want to do just a simple knitting podcast. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go over my yarn stash, we're going to go over finished objects, and we're going to do WIPs. The first thing that I want to show, I do not have here with me physically, so I'm going to put up a little picture here and a video.
Okay guys, here's the sweater, post knit. I ate that shit up. This is my first sweater, and yeah, I gotta block it, I gotta tuck in these loose ends, but
Okay, nice. The first thing I made is the step-by-step sweater by by Florence Miller. Is Handmade by Florence and Florence Miller the same person? I'm gonna assume no. Step-by-step sweater by Florence Miller. I casted this on, dang, I did this fast. I casted this on December 16th, and I completed it by December 29th. It was my first sweater. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I accidentally messed up the raglan increases. When I was doing M1R increases, I was going through the back loop once I picked it up rather than the front. But I honestly didn't mind. I gifted this to my mom. I made it in the size medium. I do not have the yarn that I used just because this was my first project, and I didn't really use Ravelry like that. I still don't really use Ravelry like that, but yeah. So the second project that I made was the Sophie hood. The first time I tried to make it in this beautiful red, and as a beginner, I did not know how to read the pattern properly, or like I did, but I guess I rushed. And instead, where you have to repeat rows 1 through 4, and you increase it's either like every 6, 8, or 10 rows. I read the pattern, and I just increased every 4 rows rather than increasing every 8 rows like I should have been. So it was essentially just like a really tiny Sophie scarf hood. I'll insert a picture here. It looks ridiculous. It was not fitting properly. I was choking myself wearing it essentially. So then I decided to make a larger one and actually make it properly. This was casted on January 3rd. I casted it off the 13th. It's the size medium. It's in the same yarn as the sweater I made, but I don't have that written down like I already said. I love this scarf. I wish I could have maybe done it in a bit of a bigger size, just because like it is choking me. Not choking me. I just really don't like having things around my neck. And yeah, I don't mind it too much when I'm actually in the cold, because I much rather have something strangling me than having the cold touch my neck. But overall, my thoughts on this project. I enjoyed doing the Sophie hood. I don't think I would ever do it again. It was really boring for me to just work it back and forth. But you know, it's a fun garment to have in my wardrobe, especially because I love a good earmuff, but I think like a hood adds to a whole outfit, and that's fun. And I'm not really somebody who be dressing, so to be able to just add this on when wearing a sweater to like amplify the outfit is really nice. It makes me feel like a little fashionable queen, even though I'm not. Because this one was so boring, I decided like next I was like, ooh, let me make a hat. I don't have the pattern. I think I do have the pattern. If I remember, I'll insert it right here. But actually, in the video just that you saw before, I was talking about a different hat that you'll continue to hear me talk about. But let me just talk about the kitty bonnet very quickly, because I forgot that I was completely even making that. So I was doing a craft swap. I am doing a craft swap with my good friend Haley, and she did these beautiful paintings of my BB bear, my Kiki, and I know some sunflower seeds, because I love eating sunflower seeds. And I'm gonna hang them up on my wall because it's a very bare wall behind me, and I think it would look nice. But essentially, I was gonna make her a kitty bonnet. I also didn't realize that the kitty bonnet is a baby bonnet, so I had to figure out for the first time ever how to like double in size. Essentially, I had to do some maths, not hard maths, but just the first time I ever had to do math, essentially, to make a bonnet. No, sorry, to make knit. It was the first time I ever had to use math when doing knitting, essentially, myself, because I always only follow a pattern. So I was very confused with this kitty bonnet. Essentially, I was halfway there. I was at the ears. I have a picture that I'll insert right there. I was at the ears. I was almost done. I was like, this looks so good. But I messed up one of the ears. I was using a regular DK red weight held with a red mohair. It was the most beautiful, beautiful combination. It was furry. It was nice. I tried to frog back. It was felted. The mohair ripped. The DK weight yarn ripped. And it was done. It was done for. I wasn't able to salvage it. And I crashed out, and I couldn't do it long. Sorry, Haley. I think you'll be getting a pair of leg warmers, because I'm never trying that again. It was horrible. I was so close. And then, yeah, it was heartbreaking. Okay, but back to the hat that I was talking about originally. I think it must have been just a YouTube video that I was following. Bye-bye. But I made a little hat, essentially. Again, increases were wrong. And so I made it for my cat. And here's the picture. That's BP. Kiki. Sleepy BP. Kiki the Sleepy BP on Instagram. Go follow. So then I tried to make that hat. It did not work out. For some reason, I was making it, and I was like, maybe it'll block out, and it'll be, like, wearable. No. But again, I should just learn how to frog it. I don't really know, like, obviously I can probably just cut the yarn at some point and just pull, but I feel like there's a more precise way that I could probably just watch a YouTube video on how to figure it out, but I'm lazy and really just am focusing on my WIPs. So, after that hat fiasco thing, I was like, let me try a pair of socks. I do not know why I was like, let me just do it. I think it's because I was so inspired years ago by that person who was in my knitting group. I was like, let me try some socks. And so the socks I decided to make are the Year of the Snake socks by Marie-Elyse Dugal. And it's these beautiful, beautiful cable knit socks. It was my first time ever doing cable knit. So in the back of one of the socks, not this sock. Yeah, in the back of this sock, you can see that I did not know how to cable knit properly. I kept doing, instead of putting my yarn or the cable needle in front, I was putting in the back, vice versa. These socks are super, super nice. I really liked working them up. I found them to be a really entertaining knit. It kept me just engaged, and it was really fun just learning how to do cables and learning how to do this type of construction. It has the heel flap and gusset construction, which, like I said, I've never done socks before, but I think I've heard really good things about this type of construction, and I loved doing it. I think in the future I need to get better about making my stitches a little bit cleaner so that I can pick them up. But even so, I love this. The yarn that I used was... Why is it not attached to the project? The yarn that I used was nice Supreme yarn in fine merino in the color Mighty Mouse. I walked about 1.5 miles in these socks one day because I just was not thinking. And there definitely is some pilling going on in the front and a tiny bit on the bottom. But that is what happens when you walk 1.5 miles in knit socks. I was not planning to. I was not thinking. But they're super comfortable. The one thing that I would say, and I'm not sure if this is a thing with knit socks in general, maybe I should have gone down a needle size. I was recommended that by the woman who works at my local yarn store, but she said maybe go down a needle size to reduce the pilling. But while walking, I also felt like a tiny bit of roughness. I felt like I could kind of feel the bumps while I was walking, and it rubbed my foot the tiniest bit raw, but it's okay. I gotta document all my yarn at some point because I have a lot more than I thought. I also need to find my scale, which I never used to use for knitting, but now when I need it for knitting and actually legal things, I don't know where it is. Okay, see, already not liking it. This is my Fennel Sea jacket by Florence Miller. No, by Handmade by Florence. Nope, it's called the Fennel Sea jacket by Florence Miller. So not Handmade by Florence. It's just this raglan cardigan. I don't love the color I chose. I feel like it kind of washes me out. I'm not sure. I am using a loops and thread yarn, honestly. It's a baby DK weight yarn. I don't know what color it is. And then I'm holding it with the silk mohair, which I think I'm allergic to, so I have not been wanting to work on this project at all. I recently did just buy some yarn to do the double knitted button band, but I have no motivation for this project. I said that I might finish it for Finish It February, but nar, that's not gonna happen. This is one of my little knitting baskets for WIPs. I need a better way to store my projects, I believe, because I started hearing about people who have like pests in their knitting, and that is not something I'm interested in. So if anybody has any good storage ideas for my yarns, please let me know. I also have just like a lot of tanglage going on, and I don't want that to happen. So I started this January 25th, and yeah, not much progress since. But that is also because I'd just be working on so many other projects at the same time. Those socks, I don't think I mentioned. Those Year of the Snake socks by Dugal, whatever. Those were technically like a Lunar New Year sock that people were making so that they could wear it on Lunar New Year. They had them in red. I actually just chose this nice gray because there was no yarn that I could find in red. But I casted those socks on January 29th and finished them February 9th. So pretty fast project, if I do say so myself. A project that I'm currently working on right now is the Olga sweater. So we've moved on to like current WIPs because everything else I think I went over. Right now I'm working on the Olga sweater. I originally had this as another step-by-step sweater that I was going to make. I was using this yarn, which is the Barico 12104 something. It's mushroom. But I was using that, and I was holding it with this like coppery mohair. And again, I think I'm allergic to mohair, so it was very uncomfortable, very itchy. And I then also did not like how it looked because I thought it was going to be more of like a marled look, but I think that in my opinion, that the orange coppery color just really took over way too much. So I frogged that, and then I started this Olga sweater. I started this Olga sweater back on February 9th, so I believe that's the day that I finished the socks. So yeah, I decided to cast on the Olga sweater, and it's going really well. I'd probably say I'm about 40% of the way done. I'm having a great time, but something that I did notice is when I work with heavier yarns, it hurts my wrist so bad. I honestly could sit and do knitting marathons on accident. I don't think about it. I don't do any stretches when I get into it. I really just sit down and I start knitting away, and it definitely gives me some pain in my wrists or just makes my hands feel pretty stiff. So something that I found that helps is working between a heavier weight yarn project and then a lighter weight yarn project. And so what I'm working on as well right now is the twist. God, I don't know the names of anything. The twist loop top by Other Loops. And I'm using this beautiful, beautiful yarn by the Wandering Flock in the color Indigo Blue. The middle of this top is going to have a beautiful, huge cable in it. And yeah, I'm loving how it's turning out so far. I've had to frog this project maybe like 6 or 7 times, though, to completely restart because this construction has been a little difficult for me. As a beginner, I don't really know what I was doing. I was having a hard time in the beginning. The first time I worked it, I actually, when it says, work stitches as they show, I was confused what that meant. So I just kept working them exactly how I worked the row before. And that was just giving me, a garter stitch, which is obviously not what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a nice 2x3 or 3x2 ribbing. And now I obviously figured it out. The cables have also given me quite a bit of trouble because I don't even know where it went. Okay, whatever. I don't need it right now. But I use a cable hook. Where the fuck did it go? Where the fuck my blood? Where the fuck my wrist? I'm gonna have to find that at some point though, because that's pretty important to my project. Where the fuck my block? Where the oh, it's right here. It's right here. So I'm using a cabling thingy. And so something that I'm finding difficult about this project is I think I honestly just need to go get a cable needle that's just completely straight, because with this one, this project calls me to pick up 5 stitches, so I pick them up like this. Then it calls for me to knit the next 3 stitches on the left needle. Then I'm supposed to slip 2 stitches off and put them back on the left needle and then purl them. So the issue that I'm coming across is that I'm picking them up. I'm slipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I knit 1, 2, 3. Then I have to slip these first 2 that are over here back onto my left needle, and I don't understand how to do that other than completely flipping this whole hook, which then makes all of my cabling extremely tight and hard to pick up. And then I purl those, and then I slip those, and then I purl them, and then I knit those last 3 off. But it's really hard with this hook, and I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Honestly, it's looking correct compared to the last few times I've been doing it, so I'm just gonna go with it. That's all of my finished objects. That's all of my WIPs. Yeah, let's get into yarn, because I have way too much yarn for somebody who just started knitting, I feel like. Great, normalize having a bunch of yarn, but maybe not for somebody who just picked up the hobby. I don't know. I get scared because I am somebody who just hyper fixates on things, and then I just quit. So I hope that I don't quit knitting and have all this beautiful yarn. I don't think I will though. Yarn acquisitions, let's get into it. This is my first beautiful yarn acquisition that I am planning to make a pair of socks with for my boyfriend. It is Azul Profundo. I'm scared to take out the label because I'm scared I won't be able to get it back in. Oh, it's Malbrigo. It's the ultimate sock yarn. It's fingering weight. It is 240 yards, which is 385 meters, 100 grams. It's a 75% merino superwash, 75% nylon. So hopefully it holds well. I was able to buy this for $21.75. There was taxes. I do not know how much it was with taxes. But this is after I finish my cable loop top. Honestly, I might just cast on soon for a new pair of socks because I love working socks. They were super fun and super fast, but maybe not. We'll see. I think this is the next thing that I'll be using to cast on socks though, which I'm super excited about. This is some of the most beautiful yarn I've ever seen. I going into the store that one day, I only told myself I could buy 2 balls of yarn. I ended up buying 3 because, man, it is just so beautiful. And it's snowing outside, so that's fun. Not enough, but it's snowing, which is nice. This is La Bien Ami Merino Sport in the color goldenrod. I bought this at Looped Yarn Works, which is where I buy all my yarn. It's my local yarn store. I was able to buy this for $37, so it's definitely pricey. It has 355 yards. This is the Retro Soria Rosa Pomara Volvo. Okay, I definitely said that wrong. It's a Portuguese, beautiful yarn. It's 100% wool, I believe. It's definitely a little itchy, but that's okay. It's just for a button band for a sweater that I don't think I'll ever finish. $9, and it's 143 meters, which is 156 yards. Also, something that, like, as a beginner knitter, I never pay attention is that. So, yeah. Okay, the next yarn that I have is Knitting for Olive. It's the 100% silk. It's the pure silk in the color oatmeal. I am thinking about doing another summer top in this beautiful yarn. I was able to buy this for about $13. All the prices are going to be US dollars, and I don't know with taxes because I lose all my receipts. This is the nice yarn that I had for the socks, for the Lunar New Year socks, Year of the Snake socks. I don't know, I really need to find my scale. I'm not sure where it went, but this was $14, color Mighty Mouse. Still have quite a bit left, not sure what to do. I'm gonna have to figure out how to go through a whole stash, because again, as a beginner, I don't really know. Okay, and then there's this beautiful yarn. I don't know what yarn this is. It's also Malbrigo something, but I do not have the colorway. I had my boyfriend go pick me up yarn. I thought that it was going to be this yarn. I FaceTimed him and I was like, yes, it's that one. And then, of course, you can't tell via FaceTime. Okay, let me put back this bag of yarn, and I have a few more things. It's like crazy. I keep buying more and more yarn, and then I keep finding more and more yarn from when I used to crochet. More yarns. So, I bought this yarn, which from Michaels. It is, Wool Ease by Lion Brand. And I absolutely fucking hate this yarn. I don't know why I thought I would like it. I thought that it would be a nice, fluffy, it's definitely fluffy. Don't get me wrong. But it's, like, horrible to work with. I hate the texture now that I'm touching it. I do not know why I bought it. It looks like I only bought it for... I don't even know how much I bought it for. But I will be donating this because I hate it. And, yeah, there's, like, random, like... It came with, like, random, like, weeds and shit in it. Like, God... I absolutely hate this yarn, and I don't know I have no idea what I'll be using it for, and I think I'll just be donating it. But if anybody does have any ideas of what I should use this for, maybe I'll keep it. But taking up so much damn room, and God, I hate the feeling of it. Oh, lordy lord. Okay. I did not realize I had this much yarn. This is horrible. Okay, I have this ball of yarn. I do not know what it is. I think it's Loops and Threads. Something. I do not know the composition of the yarn. It's very squishy. It's a nice color. I think I'll use it at some point. I don't know. I don't really like yarn that changes colors, but I think it could definitely be a fun thing to do. I've never done a project with yarn that changes colors, so that's something to look kind of forward to. I honestly just need to get through this yarn, and I shouldn't have bought this much because obviously I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. Also, I keep finding more things I need to show you. Okay. Oh shit, I have so many things. This is my scrap bag of yarn. It has the first try of the cable loop top. You can see this is the garter stitch that I was talking about. That obviously was not right. And it's so silly. I'm just so silly. Here's another whip that I have not worked on in months, years. It's this really long ass scarf that was for my mother originally. You can tell that I keep messing up the pattern. It actually looks kind of good, and it's pretty soft, so maybe I should continue with that at some point, but not right now. I need to figure out a much better storage system for all my knitting, because this is a whole mess, and it's ugly. It's ugly, and it's a mess, and I don't like that. I don't like that. The yarn that I was using for that scarf from my mom is, it's 100% polyester. Yeah, this is it. I do not know how much I bought it for. Bought it years ago. Years ago. And then I have another one of those. Nope. No, I have Loops and Threads brushed rainbow polyester. I think I thought that they were the same color, which they're obviously not. But I wonder what I was making. This is kind of cute. I wonder if I should just... Maybe I should just use this as a pot holder. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. And then I have these. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was going to make a cat couch for my cat. But then I gave up. Okay, so that was all of the things that I have compiled over the years / 4 months of me knitting / year. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've been doing it for a long time, so I guess I do have a lot of things just piling up that I didn't realize about. The last thing I just wanted to show you, which is probably so weird and like hoarderish, is that just like I have a bag of all the labels of the yarn that I have acquired over time. I'll probably throw it away at some point because, I mean, just look at this bag. It's a fucking mess. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was pretty hectic. I'm a pretty unorganized person, and I really wasn't prepared to film this video. But yeah, I think I'll be doing knitting podcasts more in the future, depending if I even get this one out. But I enjoyed filming it, and I know I enjoy watching them. So hopefully you guys did too. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you are working on something. Comment down below if you have any ideas what I can use that huge ugly wool ease yarn for. That I have a sheep and wool festival coming up in May that I'm super excited about. I am attending with my friends. We are going to be going to a colorwork class, and we're going to go to a mending class on how to like mend broken ripped knits. And yeah, and I look forward to that. There will be a bunch of content surrounding that, I'm assuming, if I do end up editing this. My main downfall with YouTube is always just editing the videos in the end, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a good time crafting. Bye!